As Obi-Wan Kenobi once said, hello there, and welcome to ForceCenter Presents Figure Fights, the show where we ask not which Star Wars character would win in a fight, but which specific action figure of a Star Wars character would win in a fight. It's a very serious show. I'm Joseph Scrimshaw.
I'm Ken Knapsack, and sometimes I forget that it's the figure, not the character, but they're all the same in my mind.
The ambiguity is really where the show takes off, I think. And we continue to have two wonderful guests with us from Star Wars Explained. We have Mollie and Alex Damon. Hello to you both, and specific hello to Alex Shirt.
Look, I was walking away. I was not going to come back, and Mollie was like, "No, you have to." I was like, "Did you see what Joseph did to me last episode? Blindsided me with a big Darklighter Armorer 6-inch Black Series. Come on!" But I'm back. I'm having fun.
It was brutal. It was brutal. But I only fell more in love with Biggs for that episode.
You learned something about the figure that you have several of, right? You learned some new stuff about it.
That's true. I can take his cape off. I can take his vest off.
You didn't know he had pudding fingers? You learned so much.
We learned all about pudding fingers.
I was most surprised about that, Alex, that you didn't know all these things, which shows that you have respect for the figures on the shelves. But I imagine after that episode, you just sat in the living room playing with your Biggs figure.
It's true. Like, I just don't play with figures like I used to. I take them out of the box, but I just then put them in the big shrine, and there they remain. They fall over. I put them back up. That's all I do. So it was fun to learn things.
And now you can take out that figure and you can make Biggs feed you pudding. I think that's a great way to play with an action figure. Let's see if we can find any image more disturbing than that as we get into today's figure fight. The matchup today is going to be Dinner Scene Padme
Ooh.
Ooh. Versus Danik Jericho.
Oh my God!
Who is that?
He's in the cantina. I didn't know he had Last of Us tendrils, though.
Yep. No, he's totally they're not fungus, but it totally looks like he's a fungus guy.
Oh, okay, that guy.
Yeah, he's a guy who puts the pipe back in his mouth, all judgy like. But he doesn't have a bunch of crap hanging out of his face in the scene. So
wow. Wow.
I cannot wait to learn about this figure.
Right.
And character.
This is going to make Puddin' Fingers look like nothing when we get into Danik Jericho's facial Puddin' Fingers. Anyway, let's talk about feelings, because how could we not? Ken, I'd like to start with you. Have you ever owned or wanted to own Dinner Scene Padme Amidala?
I have yet to own Dinner Scene Amidala, Dinner Scene Padme. I want to. It's a memorable scene. It's a great character. There's no other. My memory of that is this: that being respectful of our queen there. When that scene happened and that they cut to that and she's in an outfit, the entire theater I was in went, "Ooh!" Not planned. It just was not a press. It was 2005, and we were all living a different life. We all went, "Ooh!" So that scene, that moment, is in my mind. And this represents a wonderful, weird memory in my Star Wars fandom.
The way you're delivering that, the energy was like they were going to start singing Anakin and Padme sitting in a tree kind of vibe.
Yep, because because it does kind of a cut, right? Like, and she's sitting there in the fire. It's a great design. It's a great dress. Great look for Padme. But the entire theater was like, "Oh, we know what this is about," and it was. I'll never forget. Never forget.
Hilarious. Absolutely hilarious. Mollie, do you own or want to own this action figure?
I do not currently own it, but there's a severe lacking of Padme action figures in our collection, so I might actually look into this one. I do have fond memories of this specific outfit, and it's actually more because of the Robot Chicken episode where she shows up in this outfit, but I'm sure we'll get into that.
And Alex, how about you? Do you want this in your collection? Have you owned it at one point?
No, I was out of my collecting phase when Attack of the Clones had rolled around. I think Phantom Menace was the last time I really went out and got a ton of figures. But yeah, I had the same thought as Mollie, is just immediately like, I want it only so we can make our own little robot chicken sketches. that scene, we actually quote that scene from the Robot Chicken special often, and I'm sure that'll come up during the fight.
I can't wait because I don't. If I've seen that Robot Chicken sketch, I do not remember it. So I can't wait to figure out what random things you're saying are from a Robot Chicken sketch. I do not currently own this figure, but it's high on my list. I want to have more Padme figures. I've picked up a few, and I love the action figures that are the ones that are like, it's not weird that this is an action figure. There should be an action figure of every Padme outfit,
right?
But it is, it's a very specific scene. It's a scene that people have joked about. It's just awesome that it's an action figure, and that she comes with a glass, and then
that's what that is, right? Okay.
It's a glass. It's a glass. I often don't take the figures out of the package. I take some out, but I often don't take them out of the package because I think the actual packaging is art as well. If you could bring the package back up, Ken. I love that most of it is consumed with the roaring fire of the little living room makeout space on Naboo. And
the roaring fire of passion.
Ooh, the card makes me want to go, ooh. Or is it foreshadowing of Anakin's fate? I don't know, but I love looking at that. So I looked at this one on eBay, and now eBay's got my number, so they're emailing me 7 times a day going, are you sure you don't want this one? So someday I will give in. Let's move on then to Danik Jericho. Ken, what are your thoughts on Danik Jericho?
Man, I gotta tell you, this is scary, and I love this. I'll bring up the package picture here. That photo, it looks like a recreation of like a picture from 1882. On the
Danik Jericho, colorized.
Yeah, that's right. Here's one of the only known photos of Billy the Kid. Yeah,
he looks like he tried to shoot Lincoln for sure. Yeah.
I'm obsessed with this because even the name, the Cantina Encounter it's like Star Wars Cantina Encounter. I just love everything about this package. This figure is bizarre. Yeah, I think I might need it.
Yeah, it's a beautiful one. Alex, how about you? How do you feel?
I feel the same as my initial reaction, which is just, oh my God. Like, I can't wait to hear more details about this and why things are growing out of his face for no reason. Like, that just, I do kind of remember those days of like, there's nothing really going on with this character. We don't know much about them. Let's give them something extra. It's so weird.
Yeah.
For kids. Yeah. Put crap in his face. Mollie, how do you feel?
I have to imagine that the reason why there's things coming out of his face is because he's kind of ugly, but like not ugly enough. They had to add something so people weren't just like, why does he look like that?
It's because he smokes. It's an anti-smoking toy, really. It's a cautionary tale.
We already got our moral. Amazing.
Yeah.
I had to look him up quickly on Wikipedia and it says he was portrayed by ballet instructor Roy State, who was listed as one of the quote local ugly men.
Oh God.
Now, I'm feeling a lot of empathy from Danik Jericho for him.
So yeah, now he's local ugly man with tendrils in face. I guess.
Imagine responding to that call that's taped up. We're looking for local ugly men. Like,
I worked on 2 movies as a production assistant, and one of them I had to wrangle the extras. And in one of those jobs, I had to go and find, listed on the cast sheet, was Chubby Kid. And so I had to go, and I was just like, how do I do this? Because I sure don't want to guess wrong. And I sure it felt wrong to just be like, here's the Chubby Kid, but like, why did they list it like that? Just local ugly man. Like, it could have just been local cantina patron.
Right.
Tina Barfly, something like that.
Yeah.
You know, valuable human with ballet experience.
Yeah.
They could have listed that.
So many other options.
He still would have shown up. That's awesome. I do not yet own this one either. This is in those glory days that I hope we come back to for some of the modern shows and movies where, yep, eventually everybody gets a figure. And it's not, and we're not going to cheap out. We are going to make a lot of things to stick in their face. That's what I want. More background weirdos with things we can put in their face. Yeah. All right. Those are our feelings. None of us own these figures, so not as biased as before. Let's get into the actual history. We'll talk some stats. These come to us from the great website, galacticfigures.com. Up first, dinner scene Padme. Here is what is said. She is once again from the 30th anniversary collection. It is so hard not to pull figures from this collection because it's so good. The scale is 3.75, released 2007. Joint count, 8. Quite reserved. The joint details are ball-jointed neck, 2 ball-jointed shoulders, 2 ball-jointed elbows, 2 swivel wrists, 1 swivel waist. Accessory details, glass, scarf, shawl, coin. Okay, so her shawl, I think her shawl is removable. Let's find out the details. Padme Amidala, Senator of Naboo, was released individually carded. The figure can hold the glass well in both hands. The headdress is part of the head sculpt. The long scarf and the shawl are removable. Padme stands well without help from a stand. Yes, she does.
Yeah.
Triumphant leader. Yeah. So that is a glass and a lot of removable stuff. And it looks like no leg movement.
My new goal in life is to have an action figure that comes with a glass.
Oh,
that is my preferred accessory.
You want an action figure of yourself.
Yeah. Just with a wine glass ready to go.
The certain point of view, happy hour Mollie Damon figure.
Yeah.
Glass included.
Mollie Damon, Senator of Earth. She only comes with a glass.
Does not stand well on her own.
Does not stand well.
I love it. Let's see if Danik Jericho stands well on his own. This is his information. He is from the Toy Line Original Trilogy Collection. Scale 3.75 is well. Released 2004. Joint count 12. Got a ball-jointed neck, 2 swivel shoulders, 2 swivel elbows, 2 swivel wrists, a swivel waist, 2 swivel hips, and 2 swivel knees. That hurts thinking of swivel knees. The accessory details are display stand, blaster, pipe, into proboscis, I believe, yes. So that's what's in his face. We can talk more about that. But here are the details. Danik Jericho has 3 holes in his face. In 2 of the holes, the proboscis can be plugged in. The other hole is for the pipe.
I don't like that it's free floating there. Like that it's just hanging out of his mouth and he's not holding on to it.
Yeah, hold on to your pipe, Danik. Come on. Here's the rest of the information. All 3 plug well into the holes. God. The pipe bowl can be attached to the right side of the waist. The blaster is a good fit for both hands, and it fits well into the holster. The figure stands well by itself and doesn't require the included display stand.
Really?
So, there we go. Now that we know the truth, we'll talk about how you can use all these accessories, but now we know some more of the truth. Are there any reactions to what is in his face?
I gotta look up what they're for.
I'm still off point.
What they're
I'm
for.
I'm wondering why this came about. Are there any parts of the movies where
so I should have probably just included this as a part of the information. So here it is, not from Wikipedia but from Wikipedia, what a proboscis actually is: an elongated appendage from the head of an animal, either a vertebrate or an invertebrate. In invertebrates, the term usually refers to tubular mouth parts used for feeding and suckings. He's a vertebrate, I believe. So in vertebrates, a proboscis is an elongated nose or snout. So if we accept him as a creature with a spine, those are for sniffing and whatnot.
So it's like an elephant trunk. 2 tiny elephant trunks.
Yep. Yep.
And he's in the corner of the cantina, like, I sniff your milkshake. Just like I. Oh man.
I don't. Yeah, and I
Oh,
did not look
God.
up the history of it. If this is a detail from Tales of the Cantina where we learn this about him, or if they're dangling there in the original trilogy and somehow we've all missed it for 40 plus years.
Right.
Well, they can use the proboscises, however you say that. They can use them to feed on the brains of their prey.
Ooh.
Oh,
no.
wow.
Well, they're for sniffing and eating.
Well,
Well, all
Padme,
right.
Padme beware. Oh, no.
Yeah, dinner scene Padme indeed. This is dangerous.
They fed in a unique way that was described as grotesque.
You don't say.
You're on Wikipedia about his species?
Yeah, this is from the New Essential Guide to Alien Species.
Wow.
Okay.
Okay. He's just becoming more and more terrifying.
Yeah.
Yep.
We love when
Now
Star
I
Wars
know.
goes into the horror genre. This Danik needs to have his own show.
Already grosser than Big's pudding fingers. So we've already accomplished something. It is now time. Let's figure fight. So we're going to take into account their size, their outfits, the things hanging from their faces. How do we think this fight goes? Mollie, I'd like to start with you. Who do you think has an advantage? How do you see this fight going?
I don't even know where to start with him. But I always liked to imagine that Padme's little head thingy came off kind of like the Sailor Moon tiara, and she could throw it like a ninja star or something like that. Because I'm already kind of okay, well, she just has the glass. She doesn't have any weapons. But if we've learned anything from the Queen Shadow book series, the outfits that she wears have all kinds of bits and bobs in them that can be helpful. So
bits and bobs. I love that.
Yeah. Alex, where do you go with this? Are you thinking about the bits and bobs in Padme's dress?
No. As a married man, no.
good answer.
Okay. How about Danik Jericho's face bits and face bobs?
I am thinking about those, actually. So I think that he has a major, major weakness because he's got 2 proboscises. He's got the pipe. He has 3 holes in his head. I think that Padme could probably... There's nothing about him that's superhuman in strength or anything. She does have to get close, which I think is scary. But if she could rip one of the proboscises out, then take the pipe, because he's not holding on to it, take the pipe and shove that into one of his face holes. I think that could... I bet all 3 holes are the same size, so you can just shove one accessory into another hole.
Yeah.
You're assuming that would hurt him. What if that's just another smoking hole?
That's true. I'm just learning about this species, so it could only make him stronger.
I'm kind of with Mollie here, where I think that's just going to get him high faster.
But maybe that's good.
True. Yeah. That's an advantage. Ken?
Yeah, I like this idea a lot. Look, Padme's used to being in a room with a bunch of monsters, right? No, I'm not casting Danik as a monster right away, but she knows a way around this. She knows how to deal with things, and like Mollie said, use things with her bits and bobs to her advantage. So I love this play. I do think it would help Danik a little bit. I don't know what's in his pipe. I don't know what he's smoking, but I imagine it might dull his senses a little bit. So he's not going to take a punch to the head and feel anything. That's the only danger of Padme's play here. But I love the move.
I want to point out, because I looked him up as well, as to whether or not he's a monster. He had a nickname. He was a bounty hunter, and one of his nicknames was Death.
What?
As in he dealt death or looked like it?
Yes. It just says one of his nicknames was Death.
I'm starting to understand why he takes his own pipe everywhere. He needs it.
The first line of his biography is horrifying. Jericho drank his victim's brain matter, or soup of life, as he called it. Okay, this guy's got to die. Padme has to win. On Wikipedia.
Oh, okay.
Alex is being Star Wars explained. It's great. I love it that you get the soup of life. Okay.
Some things are better left not explained.
I think that Death tries to drink Padme's soup of life. I'm just going to put that sentence out there.
Yeah.
Death tries to drink Padme's soup of life. He tries to turn dinner scene Padme into dinner. But I think Padme's got a lot going for her, even without the bits and the bobs that might be hidden. I think that she has Padme's good at turning things that may appear to be a weakness into an advantage. And I think the fact that she has non-mobile legs, but instead the lower part of her body is a giant, powerful shaft.
Yeah.
She could balance on her hands and just deliver a punishing, a royal donkey kick to the chest of death itself.
After he's high, right? She yoink, he's getting a little stoned, and then she does the spin donkey kick.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if there's a before or after. I think he's high the whole time.
I mean, he called it super life. Yeah,
he put a pipe in the wrong hole and named himself Death. I don't think he's really thinking with everything he's got.
Man.
What you said thinking? Yeah, I love that idea. I do. Yeah, and I think she kicks him so hard that his figure falls back. I don't buy that this figure stands well on its own. Look at that splits thing going on there. So I think he does fall over. Maybe he bounces okay, but when challenged, he falls. I think he's on his back.
Oh yeah, and then I think maybe Padme, because she can remove she can remove the shawl from her shoulders, I believe, but she can also remove the thing around her neck. I believe. Trying to see what shawl.
Yeah.
And scarf.
Yeah.
Scarf, yes. So yeah, the long scarf. Yeah, that's what it's called, a long scarf. So I think she can get that long scarf, and she can just start. You know what? There's where I think the hidden weapons are, Molly. I think that she hits a button, and this long flowing scarf suddenly has all these little bits of metal that come together.
Oh my god!
Make it rock hard, and she just starts beating death with her rock hard scarf.
I thought you were gonna say she was like start towel whipping him, and I was over here nodding like, yeah.
No, she has the cat of nine tails essentially right there. She's a horrible weapon. Oh my gosh, I love this.
It's like a baton. She whips it and it clicks into place, and then boom, boom.
Oh,
boom.
that's cool.
That's cool.
Just because I'm enjoying a drink doesn't mean that I don't have weapons.
It's better than my idea.
It's a little like that Praetorian Guard. It's got like the thing that is a whip, Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Alex, because you mentioned her, or I can't remember who said it. Someone mentioned that she had to get close to this guy.
Yeah.
Because of the scene that we see Padme in, it's supposed to be a little more steamy for Star Wars. That's kind of what led to its the sounds being made in the theater, and also the robot chicken scene where she says, I forget what she says.
It's oopsie daisy, but in like the highest pitch, breathiest voice.
Yeah, and then like a stripper pole comes up, and it's a whole thing.
Oh wow!
But so for that reason, I think she attempts to seduce. So that's how she gets close.
I like that you say it as if it's a D&D game.
Yes, she rolls
to seduce.
To seduce the dragon, and then she's gonna break that glass and just stab him with it. I think she's got the glass.
Yeah, I mean she's got a lot of places to stab, right? I mean 3 holes. Yeah,
right in the face.
Yeah,
right in the face. Just more holes for him to stick the pipe in. Ken, we've so far this has just been Death trying to drink the soup of life, and Padme going to town on him. Does Danik get any blows in? Does he have anything going for him?
No, I don't think so. I don't think it's not going for him. I think with being hit by this weapon of a scarf, the shawl. Again, I don't want to cast him too much of a villain, but he's named himself Death. I think he's got kind of that incel vibe at times. Like he's very frustrated by all the things going on here. He feels so. I think he gets nothing in. Maybe Padme can be disgusted by one of his little proboscis things coming off if he wants to use that as a weapon. Maybe is it like a straw? Does he take it off and poke it in? How does he get into the brain?
I imagine there's 2 of them, so they go whoop right into your ears.
Oh, I was thinking up the nose.
Or up the nose, yeah. We got to keep it symmetrical. Dealer's choice. Which orifice that goes into.
They both go to the same place.
I think it's like in among his species, it's like when you pick up a piece of pizza, do you start with the crust or you bite the tip of the triangle first? I think that's the discussion of nose or brain among his people.
Yeah.
Who's the crust
Nose or
monsters?
ear.
There's crust monsters out there?
Crust monsters. I want to think that the spirit of the idea of the creature is that those things are in there and they come out when it's sucking time.
Yeah.
But this is the figure where they can be bark and pulled out.
Yeah.
Yeah, looking at the package, you might be right. Maybe it's like, cat claws coming out. Those come out when he's hungry.
Yeah.
Fighting.
Yeah, they can retract.
Oh, they can retract. Okay. But for the figure, they go in and out. So I think he can pull them out like nunchucks.
Yeah.
I think he's got some moves.
Oh, yeah.
I think he does try to pummel a Padme with his proboscis.
I like saying I resend by saying I think he gets a little bit, he recovers just enough.
I think that removes his biggest threat as an Anzati, because now he can't pull her brain out, drink the soup of life, because he's disconnected that. So I think that puts Padme in an even better spot.
If she can frustrate him enough. Okay, well, let's talk about this. That if he's trying to get those up the nose, up the ear to drink the soup of life, is there any way he can get close to Padme? Molly, is there any way Danik can get close enough?
The only person that can get close enough at this point to Padme is Anakin, and somewhere lurking around the corner is Anakin with his eye on this guy, because he's always got an eye on Padme. So
Rush Clovis couldn't get.
Yeah,
Anakin is somewhere in the room.
I think I'm going to add that to all future figure fights of what third figure is just standing there watching.
And this is maybe one of those like coaching point moments with like Padme and Anakin of like, Padme, why was Anakin? Why didn't he trust you? Why does he think? Yeah, there's some stuff going on.
Yeah,
I like this. Go ahead, Molly.
I think everything that we've talked about from her outfit sounds like it could be enough of a distanced weapon that he doesn't get close enough.
Yeah. I agree.
The best
Ken, any other advantage points for Danik, or you're out?
I'm kind of out on him because he freaks me out. But look, he could take off his pipe, and it's attached to his belt, right? So last ditch effort might be to throw that at her. That's the sign of you're throwing dirt in a fight, you're gonna lose.
Yeah, it's not looking good. Any other thoughts before we go to our vote? All right, let's do it. I think I might know how this one turns out. I'll start with you. Who do you think wins this brutal battle?
I'm weirdly more biased in this one, I think, than I was in the Biggs one. I'm like, Danik Jericho cannot win. I had a more visceral reaction to him showing up. So Padme wins easily, handily, and any of the numerous ways that we suggested, whether it's using the scarf as a weapon, the glass, using the scarf as a towel, I think she could still win that way.
Just choke him.
Oh yeah.
Love it. Ken, are you also pulling for Padme, or are you surprised upset?
I feel that we have to make a statement with this, and the statement is Padme going away. Wins all day, every day. I think if you learn more of Danik's story, you learn why he called himself Death. I think you'd have some sympathy for him, but it's all about choices in Star Wars, and he's not made any choice to grow as a Danik or whatever he's called. I'll wait for the Star Wars Explained story reel on this.
I kind of want to do one now.
Death just isn't willing to change, and so he has to die. Yeah. Molly, what are your thoughts?
Oh man, I mean, even with a name like Death, you can't get away with this. This is Padme's win. She's taken the W on this one.
Yeah, I agree. It is a clean sweep for Padme. I think Danik has much creepy going for him. He's got 3 holes in his face. He sucks brains, and he smokes something out of a pipe that he carries like a Walkman in 1987. I think what Padme does ultimately, I'm all about that glass. I think she shatters the glass, and then I think she dribbles just little deadly shards of glass into his belt pipe, and he sucks him up into his internal organs, and she cuts him open from the inside. And then Anakin's like, "Good job, honey."
Padme does, in fact, have a dark side. Okay, yeah,
she does. She
Yeah.
takes care of business, right? Right. All right. Well, that is it. A clean sweep. The victor is Dinner Scene Padme.
Yeah.
Thank goodness.
Justice for Padme.
Oh, man.
Big win for Padme. Love that.
In your face, death. Okay.
Ooh.
Ooh, that's what everybody says when Danik dies. We've had a lot of fun with violence. Let's talk about what we've learned. Mollie, do you have an idea for a moral for this episode of Figure Fights?
I mean, never underestimate the women of Star Wars, no matter what they're wearing and how sexy it is. It's probably full of weapons.
Bits and bobs. Bits and bobs.
Bits and bobs. Don't mess with Padme. Bits and bobs. Bits and bobs. Alex, what are your thoughts?
Oh man, I'm still stuck on his horrifying face, and now I feel bad for
What?
No shade to the man who played him, but I wonder what was his reaction. Do you think when he was like, "I got an action figure," and he went and
Oh no,
he went to the store and was like,
This
"Oh
and
my
this.
god."
I love the thought of this actor going, "I don't remember those things hanging out of my face."
Did they do that to me? I'll stick with the smoking. Are you joking? Moral. Smoking is bad for you because Joseph will find a way to brutally murder you if your action figure has that as an accessory.
Smoking, are you joking? The women of Star Wars are always to be not somebody to deal with lightly. Ken, what is your final moral?
Death may be certain, but Padme is forever.
That is a beautiful way to conclude this episode. That is Figure Fights. Please, if you have strong opinions about this fun imaginary battle, let us know in the comments on this video, because as Luke Skywalker once said, well, no one was really listening to him. I care. That's it for Figure Fights.
Thanks for watching ForceCenter. To follow us on Twitter, reach out at ForceCenter Pod. We're on Hive Social at ForceCenter. On Instagram, we are at ForceCenter Pod. Our Facebook page is ForceCenter Podcast. The podcast is available to a lot of different spots like Acast, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and more. Just search, you'll find us. Want ForceCenter merch? Go to tpublic.com/user/ForceCenter. Want to support us directly? You can at patreon.com/ForceCenter. For social links for the hosts and guests of ForceCenter, check the links in the description below. That's it for now. We'll see you next time here on ForceCenter.